or copied. In that, there are several exemptions given in the old regime. In the new, we didn't want to give any because we wanted a simple, straightforward tax regime in which the rates can be brought down. That's what we've done even now. So the act itself had to be simplified. The attempt now is that.
Okay. And on the disinvestment and...
No, all that will continue. There won't be a relenting on any of this.
On disinvestment, ma'am, if I can add, you see, the last time, July, also the similar questions were asked. We have actually since then, a value creation strategy, which was actually well explained at that time also. There is no disinvestment target per se. Disinvestment and dividend are both looked at together because both are money and money is fungible. And it has got 5 elements. The first element is that we are saying CPSC's performance. The second is we say that we should have communication of performance. The third we say that the capex of the CPSC, which is important, as you know, in terms of accelerating growth. The fourth is the consistent dividend policy. And the fifth is there is a calibrated disinvestment strategy. And the disinvestment also is there. The listing is a part of disinvestment itself. So if you really look at it, both dividend and disinvestment is about 80 to 90,000 crore per annum are being raised, but in a manner which are beneficial to the minority shareholders who are there in all our listed companies.
65, backside.
Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Ruchi Bhatia from Bloomberg News. I have a question for the Revenue Secretary and a question for you. If the Revenue Secretary can give us details on the benefits, the number of people who will benefit from the slab, from the rebates going up from 7 lakhs to 12 lakhs. And the question for you, Madam Finance Minister, a lot of people say that while the absolute number for CAPEX has gone up, the pace of spending has gone down as compared to a few years ago. Is it telling of the institutional capacity in terms of how much CAPEX push can the government really do? And secondly, as far as a lot of analysts do say that the multiplier that CAPEX has is a lot more than the multiplier in the economy than that tax cuts have. What would you, say to like some of those concerns as well?
Well, 1 crore people will more benefit between the 7 lakh and 12 lakhs.
Meaning 1 crore more people will pay no tax. On the CAPEX, I think there are 2 things playing out. One, of course, happened. So it's not as if there is no thirst for capital expenditure, but now it will be at a pace in which you can build on each one of the developments that you've done prior. So it will continue. There are some departments which will need more. There are others who would probably reach a plateau, but expenditure will have to continue even in them. So the heads where the capital expenditure will happen will vary, but expenditure will happen in building assets.
121.
No, CAPEX is also continuing. I have not foregone CAPEX to give for revenue expenditure or consumption expenditure. So both continue. Ajay.
Look at what the overall numbers are. Even in the coming year, the next year, effective capital expenditure, including what Government of India provides to state for their capital expenditure, is 4.3% of the GDP, one of the highest. So it's not just what Government of India departments spend, it is the total money which goes for the capital expenditure. And if you look at it compared with this year's RE, there will be 20% increase. If you look B to B, still there will be a 10% increase. And it is not a capacity issue, it is a new sectors coming up. For example, if you notice, urban sector, the allocations are increasing. That's one area which requires a renewed focus.
121.
On the CAPEX, because this point can come up later also. So one is the CAPEX that we give directly, that is we do as central government directly. Other is that grants that we give to the state governments, for the state governments to do CAPEX, for example, for Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, for example, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, and so on and so forth. So if you also include the grants and aid for creation of capital assets, the amount, total amount has gone up to 15.48 crores in the budget estimate for the next year, which is more than 15% increase over the current year's RE. So that is a substantial increase, whereas you consider that the overall expenditure, that is revenue plus capital, has grown by around 7% in the next financial year as compared to this year's RE. So this is almost twice the aggregate growth in the expenditure.
Yes. I would like to also add that on top of this 15 lakh crore capex, which is 11.2 there, and the extra money which goes into revenue but goes in capital building at the hand of the states, the CPSC, the Central Public Sector Enterprises, add about 4 lakh crore as capex from their own resources. So that's also the capex which goes in, and that is not counted here.
Mike on. तरुण शर्मा फ्रॉम जी बिजनेस। मैम मेरे दो सवाल हैं। एक, मैम आपने इंश्योरेंस की जो एफडीआई लिमिट है वो 74 से 100% करिए, तो क्या मैम जो इंश्योरेंस अमेंडमेंट बिल था उसकी जो बाकी रिकमेंडेशन है उसको रिजेक्ट किया गया है, सिर्फ इसी को एक्सेप्ट किया है 74 से 100% का? दूसरा मैम, मूडीज ने कहा है कि जो पब्लिक डेट है स्टेट और सेंट्रल का वो अभी भी 80% है, इस वजह से हम रेटिंग अपग्रेड इस बजट के अनाउंसमेंट के हिसाब से नहीं कर सकते। तो डू यू थिंक इज देयर कंसर्न फॉर द ऑन द public debt?
Insurance? Yeah. See, now, presently the insurance is 74%. Now, fundamentally, whether it's 74% or 100%, the materially doesn't matter. But what actually matters is the psychological feeling that they can actually own the company 100%. Along with this FDI, we are also going to, FM also announced that we are going to simplify certain procedures and rules that we frame, which is including the key management person who can be chairman of the company.